Guys. Hey everyone, I am Karen, also known as Vegan Cupid. I am so excited for today. So for those of you who don't know me, I am a matchmaker and a dating coach. I love animals and I love love. And I've been helping vegan singles find love for over 10 years now. I know, it's pretty crazy. And so welcome to the Vegan Cupid Show, modern dating in a vegan world. And I would like to take a minute to thank my sponsors, the Plant-Based Network, Veg World Magazine, Triangle Veg Fest, and Vegan Mainstream. And so this show is being multi-streamed to various channels across Facebook and will be streamed to the Plant-Based Network shortly. And so if you are watching, wherever you are watching live from right now, if you plan on leaving comments or questions or whatever, I encourage you to do so directly in the Find Veg Love Facebook page, okay? That's because those are the only comments that I will be seeing. And so the goal of the show is I want it to be really interactive, right? And engaging. And you will actually have the opportunity to ask my clients questions, okay? But only if you do so in the Find Veg Love Facebook page. And so make sure you head over there. And if you have any vegan single friends, tag them, okay? They need to be watching this because we're gonna have some fun. And so, and leave me a comment right now and tell me where you're watching from, and tell me what you're excited about for today, okay? So COVID has really changed the whole landscape of dating, hasn't it, right? Leave me a comment and tell me if you agree. And so I've really made it my mission to continue creating opportunities for my amazing vegan clients to be able to continue find love even during a pandemic. And trust me, there are ways. And so today is another way that I'm proving how to do that, right? And so, yes, my clients have been successfully having relationships since the beginning of the pandemic. So love is not canceled. It has never been canceled, okay? And so, and to prove to you that this is possible, I would like for you to meet one of my clients. So she lives in the same city as me. So that's how we were able to make this happen, okay? And so she went through my 10-week program. I'm gonna get her to share a bit about what it's been like, okay? So here she is.
Hi everyone. So my name is Anu, and I've done Karen's 10-week program. And at the beginning of the program, I've done the dating apps before and all of that stuff. So I decided, why not give Karen's program a try. In the beginning, I was very like within my 10-mile radius, like trying to do the apps and trying to find someone who would fit into my vegan lifestyle as well. But through the program, I met someone that we've been chatting quite a bit, and he's actually in the US and I'm in Canada, so there's no boundaries, there's no barriers there, and it actually expanded my radius significantly. So the first thing, I think during COVID, I think it's a time to kind of be very introspective and not have any barriers, because you shouldn't let like a different country or anything like that be a barrier for you to find a good relationship or find someone. And I think Karen's 10-week program has been really, really great. I went in there with no expectations, but it really let me be very introspective and also like open my eyes to a lot of things. So I would recommend the program for anyone. So that's what I have to say.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Anu. And again, you guys, like her and the person that she's dating, they are making it work. They are sending each other like the most adorable care packages, and it's such an amazing. It's been so beautiful seeing their journey. Okay, so again, so that's one way that people are still meeting people during a pandemic. And another thing that I've also started doing since the pandemic are what I call virtual veg parties, also known as Zoom hangouts. And some of my clients have been meeting people in there as well. And so these hangouts are super fun, right? And so that leads me to this show, right? And my inspiration actually came from a client of mine. So David, actually, who's not here today, he will be on the next show. He met his first wife via a classified personal ad. So if you're a millennial, you probably have no idea what that even means. But back in the day, people used to actually place classified ads as a way to meet people. And so obviously we can't really do that nowadays, especially with COVID. And as vegans, the pool is so small, right? So I need to work like extra hard to be able to find vegan singles for my clients, right? I need to really be thinking outside of the box, just like what I'm doing today. And so I wanted to take a minute to applaud all of my clients who are participating in this today, because it takes a lot of guts. It really does. They are putting their heart on the line. They are being brave, and I am so freaking proud of them. So, they're really stepping out of their comfort zone, and it's all in the name of love, right? And all of these clients, they've really invested their time and their energy to work with me, and they get to be part of this beautiful, experience. And so again, all in the name of love. And my clients have really done the deep internal work that is needed in order to find love, right? And to become the partner that they want to find. So today you're going to be meeting 4 of my clients, 2 men and 2 women. And so I'm going to be asking them a bunch of fun questions so that you can all get to know them. And if you are interested in connecting with any of the clients you see today, all you have to do is fill out a profile, get in my Vegela Vault, and get in touch with me and be like, hey, I watched your show and I'm super interested in connecting with your client. Okay, so that's all you have to do. And again, if you have any single friends, please tag them right now so that they can tune in. So the other fun little tidbit, aspect that I have for the show today is that Nadia is going to be co-hosting the show with me. And so Nadia is an astrologist that I've been working with for quite some time. And so I'm going to bring her on screen. So here she is. So Nadia, so why don't you tell us what you're going to be doing today for us? And you are muted, so let's unmute you.
Hey, Karen, this is exciting. So because you and I work so closely together in working with astrology as part of your matching and part of the offering that you have for your clients, what we thought was so neat is that we could put that little twist in it for those that kind of understand astrology or the very basic astrology. I have the signs of each of the 4 clients here and a little bit tidbits about them. And so I deal with the cards of astrology first, which talks about each birthday of the year has a card assigned to it and a personality that sort of goes with that person's character. And I found that from the 5 years that I've really studied it, it's very true. It holds true that you are your birthday and you have so much wonderful love energy based on your birthday. Where did Karen go?
That's awesome.
Let me just... Okay, I was like, where are you?
I was grabbing a drink of water. All right, thank you, Nadia. I'm super excited. And so every month I'm going to be doing this show and I'm going to be featuring new clients, right? And so Nadia, I don't think that you mentioned, and maybe after we introduced Joe, but we wanted to mention that blind love experiment part, right?
Oh, yeah, this is a big piece.
Yeah.
So for your last, when you did the blind love experiment, we wanted to put my work to the test. And so I studied on my own prior to the whole show, right? What my prediction was for Joe and who he was going to pick first and how that was going to turn out. And then how subsequently he was going to meet the others after picking one. And it turned out to be exactly the way that we had played out and thought and I had written out, which just kind of proves again that astrology is really a great tool for dating, because it shows energy matches, birthday to birthday, and how they are going to energetically show up for each other. What you guys do after that is, is dependent on your own energy, but there's an initial energetic connection for two birthdays that is well studied, and I have software for it. And you and I, Karen, have been using it for quite a bit, and it's always holding true. It's pretty fun.
That's awesome. All right. Thank you so much for sharing. All right. I'm going to remove you from the stream because we're going to be bringing on Joe in a minute. Okay. So, and before we bring Joe, like hiring a matchmaker and a dating coach can seem pretty taboo by some, right? And so I know that I've heard many people saying that you should be able to find love organically, but and that you should, just meet someone by chance one day. And yeah, that could happen. But I'm really a firm believer in going after what you want, okay, and not sitting around waiting for it. That's just not me. And so for those of you watching at home, leave me a comment. Be totally honest and tell me if you think that your vegan boyfriend or girlfriend is just going to randomly show up on your door one day, okay? Be honest. All right, so it's time to meet our vegan bachelors and bachelorettes. And first up is Joe, and like Nadia mentioned, he was part of the Blind Love Experiment, which is a show that I did back in May, right at the beginning of the pandemic. And so some of you may recognize him. So here is Joe, and Joe, you can unmute yourself. And so, Joe connected with some great women on the show. Unfortunately, things didn't work out, but that's okay. Here he is today, again, putting his heart on the line, being super brave, and trying it again because he knows that this is what it's all about, right? And this guy is it's so freaking amazing. He's literally up for like anything that I ask him to do. He's super open-minded. And again, because of that, he is greatly increasing his chances at finding love, okay? So Joe, as I mentioned earlier, there is a stigma around reaching out and asking for help when you need it. But, you were humble enough to reach out to me and give this whole matchmaking thing a try. And so I'd love for you to share a bit more about what your thought process was and why it was important to work with me.
You can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay. It was probably several factors. The biggest one was you start to feel older every year. So it's one of those desperation things. It's like things aren't quite working the way I would intend, or they aren't, the outcome isn't reaching a point that I found desirable, right? So if I haven't met the person I want to end up with, or I haven't been lucky in love, usually you want to make a big change, right? So what's one of the things I hadn't tried? Something like this. So it was just a drastic redirection or change of course to try to reach a new destination. It was the main reason for sure.
That's awesome. And I'm curious, have any of your habits around love changed since we started working together?
A little bit. I definitely, your course was helpful. I definitely was able to hone in on a few more, I guess, it was more weed out the less important things and hone in more on the more important things. One of the biggest things I realized was, for me, it was always important to find someone that I could respect and who I had chemistry with, but I didn't think the personality would be quite as important as it was. Before I thought that like physical traits, certain physical traits, and even like age ranges would be more important to me, but it's becoming less and less important. So before like age and physical was like 40 or 50%, now it's definitely like 20% or 15%. Like the respect factor is so much bigger now. Maybe that's more of like all of the COVID safe online dating. Once you start to separate some of that physical pressure and that physical chemistry, and you only have the personality to kind of dwell on, maybe that makes it so much more obvious. And in the end, long term, that's so much more important because you can get used to certain things, but you can't get used to someone that you can't respect. So long term, it definitely shoved that much more priority for me.
I totally get that. And so tell us a little bit about yourself, where you live, what you do for work, what your hobbies are, all that kind of good stuff.
All right. I am a mechanical engineer that works in the robotics field in San Diego, California. I have been vegan for, I think this is going on my 6th year now. I generally, my free time is a combination of stuff, anything competitive. So it's games with friends, it's physical stuff. So we do I do a lot of martial arts and any kind of like very aggressive hiking is what I would call it, I guess. I love playing volleyball and other things, anything that I can be competitive with, because I love losing and beating people. It's so much fun when someone kicks your ass at something or you beat somebody at something. It's just great. It's like the best way to spend time with my friends for me. So yeah, that covers all my free time for the most part.
That's awesome. And so what is something that you look for in a partner?
Yeah, for me, the most important things, patience is huge. Someone that's just easygoing, doesn't let life destroy their mood. It doesn't let it hurt them. They're able to kind of rise above. That's really important to me. Along that same line, someone who takes responsibility for themselves, the situation, and like they focus on solutions. Like it's cool to complain and have issues, but you can't have this perspective that like life is happening to you and everything is luck and you're just screwed and there's nothing you can do about it. Like that helplessness is like the biggest turnoff for me in life. Like I love people that are always looking to rise above and they're always full of ideas of how they're going to like fix things and try to make things better. In the end, like you have to settle. You can't make life do exactly what you want it to do, right? Life's going to do what it wants to do, but I definitely prefer that like solution centric mindset. So that patience and all that rolled into one person is like definitely my ideal kind of person.
That's awesome. And what is something that you are, really excited to bring to the table in a relationship?
So my biggest strength, I would say, is finding ways to bring in new challenges or bring in set new objectives. Like for me, it's always find something new that I haven't been doing, like cooking or some new skill I haven't learned yet, and just jumping into it. I love doing it with people. I love struggling together, being humbled by it. So just setting goals and trying to hit it and finding ways to hit it and doing research and just failing. Those are the kind of things I love. I love to fail with people. I love it. It's so much fun.
And so Kirsten is asking why you chose a vegan lifestyle.
I kind of chose me. A combination of reasons. One was nutritionally. I'd always heard about the benefits, and I always try to follow apt science. And if you avoid a lot of propaganda, you kind of get driven down a certain hole nutritionally. So I got driven that way by all your big ones like Ornish and Dr. Greger and all the big names for health science. But mainly it was because my body would always destroy me whenever I was eating animal products, and it was successive from like when in my early 20s all the way until I eventually went vegan. Like I was just cutting out all these animal products, and I was like 5 years down the line, I'm like, wait, I'm almost vegan now. Because like it was like, oh, no more dairy. Oh, now no more pork. Now no more cheese. Just because it was making me sick. Like I could feel my body telling me, no, this is not working out. Like this is food poisoning essentially. So I kind of got driven there.
Nice. And so here's a fun question, and all the bachelors and bachelorettes are going to be answering this question. And I want everyone watching to also leave a comment and tell us what's been the craziest date you've ever been on, good or bad.
I have had mostly tame dates, but the craziest one was it was one of the times where the girl came up with what she wanted to do for the date. Usually the guys, more often than not, early on, guys come up with the ideas. We're supposed to be like the forward ones more often than not. But her idea was, let's go for a run. I was like, all right, yeah, let's go for a run. It's still, I was living in South Florida. So like going for a beach run or going out on the beach was really common for dates and that kind of stuff. I didn't know it was going to be like a 14-mile run, because she was like training for a marathon and she was doing like weekly half marathons all the time. So we go on this essentially like bigger than a half marathon, and I died like 14th or not 14th, maybe 13th or 12th mile in, because I was running a lot, but like that was further than I usually would go, and she just emasculated me. It was great. So just being completely emasculated on like a first date with a girl was hilarious. That was good.
Nice. And so if anybody else watching has any questions for Joe, feel free to pop them in the chat. And even if you're watching the replay, okay, you can still ask questions. I will still be personally reviewing and replying to all comments, and so will the bachelors and bachelorettes. Okay, so feel free to leave questions. All right, so now we're gonna bring on Nadia. And Nadia, why don't you tell us a bit more about what people can can expect that are potentially thinking that they might be a good match for Joe?
Well, Joe is a Virgo, and that is the sign of Mercury. And Mercury is knowledge, and he's got a lot of it. He is a club card, which means that he's a 7 of clubs. It's spiritual knowledge, and it's a lot of manifestation. He's able to dream of a plan that he wants and manifest it, a person that is ideal for him. He's got that knowledge. He's driven. He is focused, and he's aware of how learning through others exemplifies his love and interest in him. So he's so much his card. And I know I've met Joe before and told him about it a little bit. So I don't know, it's been a while, but we have talked a little bit about your card, 7 of clubs, knowledge-based card as a Virgo. And yeah. So good luck, Joe.
Does that sound about right?
I'll need it. Yeah, no, for sure. No, she's last time we spoke, she was definitely on target too. Yeah, definitely sounds like me.
That's awesome. All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Joe. And again, ladies, if you are interested in being considered as a potential match for Joe, all you got to do is fill out a profile and get in touch with me. And if you have any questions for him later, someone is asking what age do you prefer?
My answer to this is always, it's a bit awkward, I guess. I don't know how well I would do if my long-term partner ever left the world before me. So someone that is definitely going to outlive me is my age range that I'm looking for. So just generally around my age is fine. So I'm 30, so not too much higher than that, but ideally lower than that because I get very attached, so I need to be the one that leaves the earth first. So I'm thinking long term when if I'm going to restrict based on age. But you've definitely taught me that age is not nearly as important as I thought it might be. But that's generally where any of my age preferences ever came from.
Awesome. All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Joe. We will come back to you later. And now we have Nina. So let me just pull her up. And no, we are not experiencing technical difficulties, but Nina opted to keep her camera off, which is totally cool. I support my clients on whatever they feel comfortable with. And she's still being super, super brave by being here and doing this, okay? And yes, she is beautiful. That's not why she's hiding her beautiful face, okay? So Nina, you can go ahead and unmute yourself. So Nina, you had a not so great encounter with another matchmaking company that you worked with before you found me, who set you up with someone. And I'd love for you to just share a bit about, what that was like.
Okay. Hi, Karen. Thanks for the kind words. Thanks for having me. So I worked with it's a corporate matchmaking company. It's very big, and they have matchmakers in dozens of cities. And unfortunately, this particular company was just more interested in churning out high quantities of matches. They weren't really trying to align what the client actually asked for with the actual match. So, for example, I like to travel. I like to go abroad at least once a year. And I said, I want a partner that enjoys traveling too. And they would send me matches that had no interest in travel. So those were the kinds of things that after a while, it just became exhausting, just going on date after date and feeling like I didn't have much in common with anyone. So yeah, unfortunately, that was my experience.
Yeah, and thank you for sharing that. And you said that you were like just about ready to give up until you found me, right? And so I'd love for you to share kind of like, what that moment was for you, how you felt like when we actually did start working together. And I think it's super brave of you to try the whole matchmaking thing, again after your experience.
Yes, yeah. So I actually found you through Instagram. Somehow the algorithm, your ads were showing up in my feed, and I saw clients of yours. You'd posted some descriptions of them, and I kind of connected with your clients, even though I didn't know them and what they were looking for, because I felt like that sounds like something I'd be interested in too. So it was very easy for me. I think your ads piqued my curiosity, and when I had a conversation with you, I could just feel the positive energy coming from you, and I felt that I had you'd earned my confidence pretty quickly, that you'd be able to find someone that aligns to what I'm looking for.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much for saying that. And so please tell us a little bit about yourself so people can get to know you, where you live, what you do, what your hobbies are.
Okay, so I am 40, I just turned 41. I live in Los Angeles. I work in finance. I actually have worked in public finance for a couple decades now. I'm very, very passionate about what I do. It's a very rewarding job, but it's also very challenging and demanding also. And on the weekends, I spend my time, I enjoy hiking. I like to travel. I mentioned that already. I like to go abroad at least once a year. I've been all over Europe and Asia. And I also enjoy spending time with my friends and family. So family is really important to me also. That's another thing.
That's awesome. And so what are you looking for in a partner?
So I'm looking for someone who has a similar education background. I have a graduate degree. I prefer someone who is of similar education, also someone who has a sense of purpose. I'm for me, working in the public sector is a calling, and I'm looking for someone who has a similar calling, a similar purpose in life, who's not just driven, who's not just interested in making money, but has a larger purpose. And also someone who is kind and empathetic, and someone who's healthy. I like to stay really active on weekends, and so I'm looking for someone who would be up for joining me on a challenging hike or in other activities outside also. So
That's wonderful. And what's something amazing that you're excited to bring to a relationship?
I consider myself a good listener. I'm pretty empathetic. My Myers-Briggs personality type is an INFJ. So INFJ is, I don't know if you're familiar with the 16 personalities, but INFJs make really good friends. They make good partners because they're known to be empathetic, and they're known to be good listeners also. I also am financially secure, and I give good investment advice too, due to my background in finance. So if you're interested in that.
That's great. And you are also very warm, and you love to laugh. And every time that you and I talk, we laugh like at least 100 times because we both love to laugh. And so I'm telling you guys, she is so warm, so friendly, so sweet and caring, and loves to laugh. So if you're looking for women who loves to laugh, among other things, Nina is your person. And so why don't you tell us about your craziest date you've ever been on, good or bad?
So I don't know if this is crazy, but it was unfortunate. When I was with the last matchmaking company, they set me up with someone who said at the beginning of our date to the waitress that, I don't eat dairy. So I said, oh, are you vegan too? And he just went on a tirade about vegetarians and vegans and how, he just started mocking them. And then at the end of his rant, I had to tell him, I'm actually vegetarian. So it's very awkward after that. And then that's kind of when I realized, like, I think I'm doing business with the wrong company. I don't think I should be doing this anymore.
Yeah, that's for sure. Thanks for sharing that. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on the whole thing of like dating during COVID.
Well, I think it is. I mean, I really have enjoyed, I think I said this earlier, one of the reasons that attracted me, Karen, is that I saw who was in her network to begin with. So that was the type of people that she attracts definitely attracted me to her services and to her program. And I have, Karen has matched me with a few people that she's already worked with, and I've enjoyed getting to know them. And I'm looking forward to continuing to meet other people through her network. So I do encourage that you go and attend her Zoom Hangouts, because that's something that that's definitely an opportunity for you to meet other vegans and vegetarians.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. All right, so now we're going to bring Nadia, and so she will share her take on.
Actually, can I say something? I want to thank Nadia, because I met her, actually, full disclosure, a few months ago, and she accurately predicted that I would get a promotion this year, and I did. It was a few months before she told me. She did a reading and said, you're going to get a promotion, and early December I got one. So
Congratulations.
Wow.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And yes, so Nadia has predicted so many things. It's crazy.
Wow. I'm so excited. I love when clients come back, because this stuff is all about energy. You can't say, oh, this event is going to happen, but the energy, if you know you're setting yourself up for something, I'm able to look at it and say, yeah, that looks totally positive. And Nina has a wonderful card. She's the 8 of Hearts, and that is the power in love. And she, as you can listen to her, she is so bright, and she really knows what she wants, and she's very, very determined to find that love that's really like very heart-centered in her constitution, really. And she's balanced. She's a Scorpio, so she's going to be an ardent, beautiful lover. She has extremely high principles of, and she's just a beauty. And I totally respect that you're not wanting to show your face, but I can back you up that you are beautiful inside and out. And I thoroughly enjoyed talking to you when we did a few months ago. So.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nina, for being here. We'll remove you from the stream and add you back on at the end. Okay, same with you, Nadia. Okay. All right. So again, if you're interested in learning more about Nina, fill out a profile and get in touch with me. So now we have our second bachelor. Let me bring him on. Okay, you can unmute yourself, and I'm going to try to pronounce your name correctly again. Vade.
That's it, Vade.
Yes, Vade. I have a hard time with surnames because I am French Canadian. French is my first language, so some names are a bit harder for me. But thank you so much for being here. And I love, because you and I have had so many great conversations about self-development, healing, all kinds of wonderful stuff. And you and I share such a great connection. We are so on the same page about so many things. You've done so much deep internal work yourself. You are an amazing, amazing man. So special, so unique. And I can't wait for you to find that special woman. And so I'd love for you to share, like, just briefly your thoughts on, why you think it's so important for people to take the time to do the deep internal work, the healing and all that stuff before they get into a relationship.
I think that is actually integral, and it's a blessing in disguise. We all think we know what we are looking for, and we're sure that that's what it is. And I feel like we never really take the time to go deep inside and figure ourselves out and learn, like, what do we really truly want and what really makes us happy. And I feel like your program, it's a really great opportunity to do that self-work. In my own personal journey, I realized that we all carry a lot of false beliefs. And as long as we carry all these major false beliefs, then how do we really discover ourselves? And if we're unable to know who we are, to me, it's less likely that we're going to meet or connect with the right people. And I feel like once we discover more of who we are, then it's much easier to connect and recognize someone else who's been there as well. So it is really a blessing. And I know people, you think, oh, why do I need to do this? I can just meet people. And I would say, no, you're really lucky to have Karen on your side, because she's really going to help you to really understand more about you. and really to me makes things much easier, and it makes a lot of sense.
Awesome. Thank you so much for saying that. And so tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do, what you're passionate about, your hobbies.
Right. I am 53. I live in the North Shore area of Chicago, Lake Bluff. And I actually was born and I grew up in the Caribbean, in Trinidad, and migrated to Canada, and then, went to college there, and then eventually moved to the US and lived a few different cities, Chicago, Dallas, Florida. And I was in the corporate field, and I really enjoyed it at the time until I really realized it's not, exactly what I wanted to do. It was very disconnecting for me, and eventually left it and moved on to, more of my passions. And then I discovered veganism, and it was the biggest, I was drawn to it. It smack dab into veganism, and learned so much about it, and was really passionate about it. And it really changed my life, where today I ended up moving on, where I started up a vegan business. It's Bee Market. It's a bistro and a health food market, as well as, organic wines, vegan beer, and a lot of vegan snacks and foods and products, superfoods, things like that. And I did it because it was a great forum for me to connect with people and introduce them to veganism in a way that I feel would be easy for them to connect with, which was food and taste. Didn't realize I love food so much, and I learned to cook really well, and started doing it. And it's been, a lot of work, hard work, but it's so rewarding. And it's a very important project, and I'm very excited. It's been 3 years since getting this project going, and I have other projects that I'm working on. My typical day, so like veganism is, my work and my passion in a lot of ways. But I also spend a lot of time in internal self-development. So like, for example, I've studied yoga, Kriya Yoga, Kundalini Yoga, Hatha Yoga, classic yoga, and I became a yoga instructor. And I did teach for a little bit, but I love teaching. So in the mornings, I don't really teach to the general public anymore, but in the mornings, I go down to the Lake Michigan, and I do a class out there. And some of my friends come, some people from the community come and join us. We do it at 6:30 in the mornings. And then, I jump in the lake after. So I'm doing this cold therapy. It's a lot of fun. So for me, I love challenges. I love doing new things. I've also spent around 9-10 years learning martial arts and combat training and different mixed martial arts, which I love doing. It's I don't do it as a way to, to fight or be aggressive, but I love it because it's a great way to learn self-defense, as well as it gets you really healthy and gets your mind healthy. And I use it today as a way to meditate, to be able to stay in a meditative state while being in a very in a combative situation, and being able to be centered doing that. So that's how I spend my time. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. Joe is also really into martial arts. And so tell us what you're looking for in a partner.
So, I'm so glad I did your program, because it really gave me a chance to stop and really think about what am I looking for. And so what I'm really looking for is someone who is more connected with themselves, more of a heart connection, someone who's spent time doing the work, looking internally, recognizing, that we all need to grow, right? We all can improve. We all can achieve our highest potential, or at least strive for our highest potential. So someone who's excited about life, who is happy, and someone who's already happy with themselves, but looking to share and connect that with me, because I feel like I bring the similar things to meeting someone new.
That's awesome. And what's the craziest date you've ever been on, good or bad?
So this is a crazy one, and it is bad. And yes, I'm going to tell it to everyone. never really told anyone about it. So I was 17, and I was seeing someone before, and we broke up about 2 weeks before. And I was in the Caribbean, and I was 17, going to the first, like the most popular party in the country. And I went to it, and there were like thousands of people there. Like a lot of my friends were there as well. And so I broke up with this person, and I went to this party, and I remember it being a perfect night. It was cool, it was beautiful, the music was amazing. And for the first time, I felt so good and I felt so alive. And I was walking through the crowd, and from a distance, I saw this one person that stood out to me, and she looked so amazing. And although she was so far away, we connected, and she saw me, and we walked towards each other, and I met her, and we just started talking. We had this instant connection, and I've never ever experienced something like that before. And I felt so amazing. And so I'm starting to talk with her, and I felt someone tap me on the shoulder, and I looked around, and as soon as I looked around, my ex-girlfriend was standing right there, and she just turned right around and slapped me right in the face. And I remember being so stunned, and she took off. I turned around, and the pretty lady that I met, she looked at me, shook her head, and just laughed. And I looked over and saw all of my friends were there just staring at me, laughing away. And I remember feeling so misunderstood at that time. And it was a crazy experience because everybody talked about it. And but I did also learn a lot about myself and about being misunderstood and feeling that way. But that's something that's so imprinted on my mind. It's like yesterday.
That's awful. I'm sorry that happened.
Crazy story, yeah.
Yeah, that is crazy. And so now we're going to bring in Nadia because, you're really into the whole energy thing. So was Nadia and I. We're all about intuition. And, Nadia and I have had so many conversations about you and how awesome you are and how, we really want to help you find, the right woman for you, right? So, Nadia, what can you share?
Vod, you are the same card as Karen. No wonder, Karen, you feel it. The 4 of clubs. The value is 4, and the club is knowledge-based. And you're a Leo, and Leo represents the sun, the shining bright. And I mean, you can just see it when you talk. You have this bright sunshine energy all around you. You're so stable, and you're so deep, and you understand love really from such a heart center, and it's so great. It's like you meet someone who's also done their work and is just available to love like you can. Leos are so loyal and wonderful. And I'm partial to Leos, of course, but I'm a Virgo. But I understand because they're a sign that's very close in proximity to a Virgo. And your mental satisfaction cards, so you can clearly see that when you're describing how you are, so thought out, and it's wonderful to see you today. Thanks for coming forward.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nadia. All right, so let's move on to our last bachelorette for today. It's already been 45 minutes. I knew this was going to go on way longer than I thought, but it's all good. We're having a great time, and this is what today is all about. So here is the wonderful Armidi, and yes, I had to practice for a very long time to get her name right. So you can unmute yourself. So thank you so much.
Hi, Karen. Thank you for having me.
Yes. So, you reached out to me, and you told me that you had been struggling with online dating, and you didn't want to keep wasting your time, and you were done, wasting time. And so I'd love for you to just, share a bit about what that was like to go through and why you decided to reach out to me.
Sure. I have tried online dating for several decades, and it is difficult to even get a date, honestly. It's often a non-starter from the beginning to the end, and when you don't have a chance to really see what the person's even about on these apps, it's hard to even know if it's worth trying to get to know the person. And so I like the idea of finding someone based on a search that was value and compatibility based, and not just on superficial things. So that's why, and I had also gone on a lot of several of your speed dating events as well, and found those to be a fun way to meet people.
I can tell you guys that Almighty really is a very special soul. She's looking for a very specific kind of man, and she does amazing work for the vegan community. So she's an amazing person. All of my clients are amazing, and that's why I'm just so fortunate. I get to work with amazing people. They all bring different things to the table. They are all special and unique in their own way. And so, can you share with us who you are, what you do, and what you're passionate about?
Absolutely. So I live in Malibu, California. I've been a practicing veterinarian for over 15 years, and I have a house call practice for dogs and cats, which I own and run. I'm interested in holistic healing modalities in addition to the conventional methods that are available. So I've trained in veterinary acupuncture, herbology, homeopathy, chiropractic, acupuncture, and I'm always trying to learn more about what I can do to be the best veterinarian I can be. And as far as my hobbies, activism is pretty huge for me. I've been a vegan activist for 21 years, and I have a nonprofit group to raise awareness about the benefits of veganism. So we do film screenings of documentaries about what animals are going through. There's also an activist group here in town that I volunteer with several times a month that does vegan outreach leafleting. There's Vegan Toastmasters that I've been involved in for over a decade that does public speaking, helping people become more confident in being spokespersons for the animals, the environment, and our health. So I'm looking for someone who is at least vegan or willing to go vegan, since that's a pretty big part of my life, and a lot of other things too, of course. But and then other things that I enjoy doing are hiking, dancing. I like having fun and laughing and joking around too. I have a balance of serious and silly. I can goof around and be really fun sometimes, and then there are other times where I'm really serious and focused on my work. So I like to have that balance.
Yeah, it's all about balance, and I love that about you. So passionate and dedicated, but you still know how to have fun. So that's what's really important, right? And so, what's something amazing that you are excited to bring to the table in a relationship?
I have a sense of adventure. I love to do new things, try new things, go places, travel. I just bring a sense of generosity, playfulness, sincerity, and faithfulness. So I think that for the right person, I will definitely make that person a priority in my life, as I would expect him to for me as well. It's a two-way street. So there's a lot I have to offer, and there's a lot that I could benefit from having that in my life.
That's great. And do you have a crazy good or bad date story that you want to share with us?
Well, there have been so many things that have happened. It's funny. I guess one thing that stands out, not really crazy so much, as just like I took a flight to Kansas to meet this one man that I had been talking to for a couple months, and I had never met him before. He and I had become close through medical freedom activism through Facebook, and we got to talking, and so he invited me to come out and see him, and that was the first time I had flown so far, or certainly out of state, to meet a guy that I had never met in person before. So I think that probably shows you how I was willing, and that was through your program actually, that I kind of was willing to go outside of my comfort zone in terms of extending myself in that way. And it is something that I thought about expanding as far as like types of people I would be willing to meet. However, ultimately that didn't end up working out, which is fine. Everything's a learning experience. So it's just part of the process.
It is, and I'm so proud of you for having done that. And I remember coaching you through that and fully supporting you and encouraging you to just try, because you never know when, where, and how you're going to meet that special someone. So you have to put your heart on the line. You have to try these things out, because you never know, right? And so tell us one totally random thing about yourself.
My name, Almighty, it comes from my religion, which is Zoroastrianism, and it means devotion to God.
That is totally random, but really, a really cool story. So thank you for sharing that. And now we're going to bring on Nadia. So Nadia can give us her take on Almighty. How come I don't see you, Nadia? Can you hear us, Nadia? I can't see you for some reason. Technical difficulties. Let's see. I'm gonna try adding you again. And no, we've lost Nadia somehow. So again, the beauty of doing things live, right? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. So unfortunately, Nadia, perhaps Nadia, you can go back and share in the comments. You know what your take is. Sorry about that. I'm not sure what's going on. But again, so if you guys have any questions for any of the people that you've seen on this show, please go ahead and post them. We are kind of a bit running out of time here. But it's, this has been so fun. And I want to thank all my clients for being here, for sharing, for being vulnerable and open and participating in something like this. I think it's so freaking amazing. Love is such a beautiful thing. And yes, it can hurt. And yes, you can get your heart broken. Yes, you have to be like super vulnerable, but it is so worth it. Like I love, like I said, I know it's cheesy, but that's truly how I feel. And so I'm really here to give everyone hope, to help them and inspire them. And so I hope that I've inspired you today. And don't give up on finding love. Okay, even during a pandemic, there are fantastic ways for you to meet other people. The virtual veg parties, also known as Zoom Hangouts, are a fantastic way for you to meet amazing people. Thank you so much, Marcia, for saying that. And so again, if you want to connect with anybody from the show that you saw today, please fill out a profile, get in my Veg Love Vault, send me a message, let me know that you've seen someone on the show that you're interested in. I'm going to be doing this on a monthly basis, okay? Like I said at the beginning, so featuring different people, we're all going to have a great time. And again, if you're watching the replay, I would love for you to leave your comments, answer the questions, let me know if you have any ideas. Elisa is saying thank you, and the contestants, great idea, thank you so much. And so, and also I highly encourage everyone to check out my free Cupid class, okay? So it's a 30-minute class with lots of truth bombs that will help you on your search to finding that vegan partner, okay? So go ahead, sign up for that class. It's totally free. And also check out the Zoom Hangouts that I have coming up. I do 2 to 3 per month. I actually have one tomorrow for dog lovers. I'm also doing a special holiday event. Again, all these events are specifically for vegetarian and vegan singles, okay? And then if any of you are interested in learning more about that 10-week program that you heard my clients talking about, I have a new session starting in January. There are only 6 spots left. I only work with 10 clients at a time. And so only 6 spots left. And my calendar is closing in a week because I am taking a much needed and deserved vacation for the holidays. So if you want to get in, if you want to hop on a call, ask me questions, see if this might be a good fit for you, book a call. And I'm just going to bring on everyone on the stream here quickly so that you can see everyone at once before we log off. And if anybody has any questions, and hopefully Nadia, we can bring you back on. There you are. Okay, so feel free to unmute you guys if you want to say anything, if you have any closing thoughts. If anybody has any last minute questions, feel free to leave them in the comments now. And do I have everyone here? Where's Vade? Oh, I think he left. All right, okay, so thank you so much again for everyone for being here. Thank you so much for watching. I would love to hear from you guys, so get in touch with me and have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks, everyone. Bye.